What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're talking Lazarus, and we got some news and rumors for the DCU and the MCU coming up later, so stick around for our talk on Lazarus. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, I am fan-freaking-tastic, and I'm glad there's other materials to talk about tonight other than Lazarus, because I don't know how long we can talk about this, even when it's 2 episodes. Well, I guess we'll get to that in a minute. I got anybody wants to know, in my friends in Michigan, I got a show tomorrow night in where is that area? Utica, or where Jimmy John's Field is. I'm playing right across the street tomorrow night, 7 to 10. Show up.
You get free toasted subs?
It's a free concert. I don't know what you get out there. You bring your own food and bring a hot dog. I don't know. Just make sure you don't put ketchup on it.
Extra ketchup on mine.
Well, with that, Doug, how are you doing tonight?
Doug, before you even start, you have gotten people riled up on the interwebs already. If you've seen our latest YouTube short and TikTok from today, Doug, referring to the Wonder Man series as dumb, has gotten people irate. People are up in arms calling for his arrest at the hands of our Homeland Security officers. I mean, people are very upset with you, Doug. So you may just want to toe the line a little bit tonight. Don't start going crazy.
So, man, what are you in for? Yeah, I called Wonder Man mid. Only possibly okay, probably dumb. Oh, dude, that's hard time.
You may never get out. My nephews refer to him as the Flying Hillbilly, so they will be sharing a cell with you.
Good, I'll have company. But, Dave, Keith, I am outstanding. Do you know why I'm outstanding, gentlemen?
Why?
Because I'm here hanging out with you two. Even if it's to discuss this well, I'd call it a train wreck, but it's not interesting enough for that. So I don't know. It's a show, and it is not my fault this time. You cannot blame this one on me. This is not another uncle from another world.
Yeah,
this is all my fault.
I don't think it's even your fault. I mean, we all heard new anime coming out from the creator of Cowboy Bebop, and we were all like, okay, I think we know what we're watching.
Maybe that's all he had was one in him. He only had one in him. That was it.
The first 2 episodes were like, okay, well, it's just a start. It's gonna get better. Episodes 3 and 4, they're stumbling out of the gate. It's gonna get better.
Nope, not
Episode
yet.
7 and 8, it picks up from here.
It's gonna get better, I swear. Just give it another season or 2.
You got 5 episodes left. It's gonna pick up, I swear.
The finale is freaking amazing.
The series finale, yes. 7 seasons later.
You didn't even care about the characters at that point. I don't care about them now.
Oh no, Drone Boy and Hacker Girl. What are their names? I don't know.
You just said them.
You watch every episode. Yeah, I know.
Still don't know their names. I'm sorry.
I know their one defining trait. But you know what, gentlemen? As I said, I'm outstanding. But you know what? We haven't heard how Keith is doing.
Gentlemen, I am tremendous. Despite having to force myself to watch about 44 minutes of this show, I am still good. Because we get to chat about it and have some fun. So, gentlemen, are you ready to talk a little Lazarus?
No.
Yeah, we're ready to get by it.
we're ready to get through it.
Because episode 7 is titled Almost Blue, the 6th studio album from Elvis Costello, who I know Dave is pretty upset that there's been 2 Elvis Costello references in this season. But
I don't know if I'm upset, but that's just kind of weird. He was good, but he wasn't 2 episodes out of 13 good. Come on. We only got 1 Go-Go's episode.
it wasn't even a Go-Go's episode. It was a Belinda Carlisle.
It wasn't even a Go-Go's episode. So, come on.
I get you. But this episode starts out with the news that the polar ice caps have completely melted. And much like, almost exactly like Not Your Status Quo, Skinner called it to the day 3 years prior. Just like we always do. Yeah.
Did not see that coming. What a twist.
Can you believe how devastated the populace of the world was? Just people crying in anguish as they watched that last bit of ice cap melt into the sea. The moans and wailing. Oh, there was no reaction? You're saying that everybody was super chill and it was just another news day. Oh, well, that's certainly a creative choice.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, like, they opened the episode with saying, this, and we watch as the last bit of the polar ice cap melts. And I'm thinking, oh man, we're headed into like Day After Tomorrow territory. I don't know if you guys remember that movie where a little bit of the polar ice caps melted, not completely. They melted a little bit, and it caused a devastating storm that just like destroyed the world and put it into a new ice age. And this, it's just like, it wasn't even an inconvenience. It was just like a new speedway opened.
Like, hey, the Pope didn't die today. Okay.
Right? I mean, it was non-news, and they're just, oh, well, okay. And the rest of the episode had the same basic tone. So, want to go?
But there was the best scene that we've gotten this entire series so far in this episode. Because Drone Boy at one point says, and I quote, "All that for nothing." And I thought that was about as meta as we could get about these episodes. I was like, okay, these writers are genius. They've been fooling with us this whole time.
Shoot, why didn't I put that on the thumbnail?
But Naga's memory banks does it was analyzed. Why can't I think of that word? It's been analyzed, and it comes up with 4 oceanic coordinates in or near Manila Bay, the Maldives, the Scamira Islands, and Tavalia. So,
and that is another twist I didn't see coming. That's amazing.
The groups.
I honestly thought that it was going to be more than that. Like when those numbers started, like coming out when they were analyzing the memory banks, like what was left of Naga, and they each have their own idea. Axel's like, oh, I bet it's a phone number. I should give it a call. And the one guy's like, oh, I bet it's coordinates. And then somebody else says, oh, I bet it's this and that. And I'm thinking, oh, Skinner, this guy is a genius. It's some sort of weird hidden code, but. No, it was literally just, it's latitude and longitude, and that's it. There's no greater mystery.
I wanted it to be
it was how much he paid for his pizza last night.
When he called, I was hoping Skinner would be like, hey, you found me.
Right? I was waiting for it to be like, whatever restaurant he had called. They're like, oh, yeah, Skinner, he shops here all the time. It's like, oh, wow. But no, it was all just, okay, This was such a weird episode because it had a little bit of a lead up, and you think, okay, because of course they start off like they have been with all we're back to square one. What are we gonna do now? Oh, gee whiz. And
you know what I like too?
You think
they're back at square one, and then someone goes, we should really break down that Skinner video now. You haven't done that yet? Right? You're waiting this long? I'm like, good God.
What do you guys even do with your time?
Heavy Spoilers has broken it down 8 times by now. And they're just like, let's take a deeper look at that video. The 7th bell. Oh my god.
The 7th trumpet.
Yeah, 7th.
The 7th trumpeter. Okay, what does that mean? Like, nobody know what that meant. Well, I guess in Japan they wouldn't know.
No, it was just a Bible thing.
Yeah,
They're talking about the Book of
was-
Revelation.
It's not big over there in Japan, so I guess that's why they wouldn't know it.
I guess not, but yeah. So, yeah, they're just doing their like, oh man, oh boy, did you see the news? Oh, a new Piggly Wiggly opened? No, the ice cap's melted.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
whoa,
sure,
whoa.
whatever.
A new
That's
Piggly
cool.
Wiggly
I was
opened?
thirsty.
We should have led with that.
that was
Talk
more
about
important
the-
news.
Talk about
Anyway.
burying the lead. Talk about burying the lead, Doug. I mean, swear to God.
Yeah, come on. Unbelievable. But they find all of these locations have something in common. All of the residents suffered from a genetic form of angiostlia? I don't know. But prevents them from feeling any pain. And this is who Skinner studied to come up with HAPNA. And I don't know about you, but I was completely underwhelmed by this.
Thank you. Yes, I was thinking the same word. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, great.
I guess.
Someone else that can't feel nothing. That's cool. That's a deep show, man.
Well, that's really adding to the amazing, brilliant characters that we've gotten so far.
They should be the people who overfeel things. They feel everything. That's how they should be.
Oh yeah, extra drama would probably make it a little bit more interesting.
100%.
They had to constantly fight through all their feelings just to accomplish something.
Yeah, just to be like to act like a normal person. They have to harness all of that reaction that they're having, their anxiety. They got to harness all that just to be a normal person. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting. Heck, I mean, think about this. Because all of their emotions would be heightened, they're constantly struggling to even get along as a team, which can, make their missions go off. Because you've got everybody, in their own state of mind. Boy, we're writing the show even better.
Adult Swim is going to be reaching out soon. But we do find out that the Antichrist, Skinner, did buy their islands that gave them enough money to relocate before they're fully submerged because of the melting ice caps. What a good dude. That really, brought a tear to my eye, and it really hit in the feet. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. I could care
The
less.
guy's so generous. He's just
Okay.
he's like your generous Einstein type.
Here
He's
was
really
my question
smart.
about that. They keep discovering these little things, these little tidbits, these like little Wikipedia entries about Skinner, like the fact that he bought these islands. Here's the thing: the man was a very famous public figure, and they keep saying he was the next Einstein. How did they not know half of the stuff that they're just now finding out about him, like years ago? Why was not more of this dude's dealings a little bit more public knowledge? I mean, most of the famously wealthy people are the people that are like constantly in the news for things. We tend to know a lot about them. Like, I can tell you all about how Jeff Bezos has been going over to the UK to build bunkers, fallout shelters. A totally normal billionaire thing to do. I know that because the dude is famous and constantly in the spotlight. You would think in this world of the guy who invented the ultimate painkiller and is constantly on TV that people would know, oh, hey, the famous doctor who invented the ultimate painkiller just bought 4 random islands.
And think about it, not only even that, he disappeared for 3 years. You don't think all of the TikTokers, YouTube people would be like investigating everything about him to try to find out
Where
he
did
went?
Skinner disappear to?
I mean, yeah, what world do they live in where this guy disappears and there's not 70 videos? Stay tuned because I have clues as to where Skinner went. All of this information would be out 3 years after this Einstein, developer of this greatest drug / medicinal painkiller, is gone. They just didn't think all of this through as they were writing this, and it shows, unfortunately.
No, they had like the barest of bones of a premise, and then they just kind of went from there. It feels very unfinished, or at the very least, it was, and somebody has made cuts where they shouldn't have been.
Yeah. But we do
Very
find out
poorly thought out.
all of the money goes back to the defunct Hague Institute, where she discovers, big shocker, Hirsch used to work under Skinner.
Whoa, whoa,
I
twist.
And of course, we forgot, we did get the Rembrandt.
Oh yeah, right.
walkthrough.
The
I almost
Rembrandt
forgot
Museum.
about that. Where you kind
When
of
she
figure
went on
out,
her little date with the FBI director dude.
yeah, definitely wasn't shocking. I mean, they made it seem like when the team like, how could you not tell us you worked under Skinner? I just worked with him. I wasn't like his lackey. I didn't, develop Hatna and he stole it from me. There was nothing much like, hate to bring it up, but the Acolyte, where you hear all this stuff. It's like, oh man, this Jedi ended up killing himself because of what they did back on this planet. Then you find out what they did, and they're like, they defended themselves? Wait, why are they so upset? And it's the same thing. They're like, the next episode, they're like, why didn't you tell us you worked for him? It wasn't important. It's a huge nothing burger. Nobody cares. Oh, okay, cool. And now
Yeah, I was more like kind of there when he did stuff, and I was kind of there in the background clapping for him. That was my role.
It sounds like that. Okay, Dave, I'm glad you said that because that's got to be the case. Because have we already? So we're on to the next
not
episode.
Not yet. We still got.
Oh,
just we just also find out
all right.
that.
Well, remind me to come back to this.
Yep.
Come back to it.
We do find out. Hirsch finds out from Abel that the U.S. Army Intelligence Corps is looking for Axel because of his 8,000 breakouts. They discuss Skinner a little bit, but back in Fiji, Chris encounters a woman who calls out her real name.
Mm-hmm.
14 days left.
There we go.
There we go.
And now
that
we're
was
into episode 8, Unforgettable Fire. A very
Wait. Hold on, Keith.
very
You forgot. They're now announcing all of the repercussions from the previous episode, right? Like we're gonna find out that the police are hard after Axel, and the whole entire military, everybody is on his case. And oh, you mean they mentioned that and it hasn't amounted to anything?
Correct. Yes. Once again.
Oh.
Things are brought up, never followed up on, ever.
Oh, darn.
But you jumped over my joke.
Oh,
Episode
sorry.
8, Unforgettable Fire, a U2 album that is completely forgettable.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay, thank you.
What was on that one?
that was good.
I don't know what was on that album, so you may be right.
But Chris does wake up. She's taken prisoner by that Russian spy team that we find out. And
they're Russian by the very Russian accents that they all have, that
Yes.
the voice director thought to make sure that they hired.
And they're a lot quicker than everybody else. No?
Because they're Russian?
Because they're Russian.
Ah, nobody paid for a dad joke.
Wait, they didn't? Oh my God, Dave. But
I'm sorry. All right.
we do get a nice little scene where, why don't you tell me where I am? Well, it's cold. I smell oil. I hear seagulls. We must be at a... I'm like, oh my God.
I'm so clever. You trained me so well. Look how I figured out we are on an oil rig in the Bering Sea. I'm sorry, the Barents Sea.
Thank you for being a worse Black Widow. I didn't know it was possible until now.
Makes me want to go back and watch the Black Widow movie and enjoy it a little bit more.
Oh, whoa, hold up now. Wasn't that bad?
We find out she basically left this Russian spy team. She flatlined after an explosion at an airport, and she ended up escaping and coming to the U.S. and joining Lazarus. And we do find out that she wanted the bracelet on her because if she ever went gone for 3 days with no thing, just to blow her up because she didn't want to be tortured or whatever. I was like,
Oi, so they are bombs now?
Well,
no, they burn your hand off or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, come on now. That's they're
So
much dumber than that, Keith.
that adds up to probably the most interesting twist so far, is that she flatlined. That means that she died. Is she, Lazarus is somebody who raises from the dead. Is she the first person on the team to admit that she flatlined and came back? Or are there other people on the team who did this? That's why they're the Lazarus team? Or it probably will not be that interesting.
We can guarantee it will not.
Yeah.
Probably more likely, you just came up with a much more clever idea than anyone on the creative team ever did. Like, oh, that's so good. We should have thought of that. Oh, man.
Because the more I watch this,
no.
especially the end of last episode where they're all enjoying the view from all those coordinates because, it's clear skies and blue water, I do think it's kind of talking about the Earth. I do think we are going to find out at the end of this that Skinner was basically an eco-terrorist, and he murdered everybody on the planet to save Earth from all of the damage it's getting.
He's Ultron.
He is. Are there any strings on him?
I don't think so.
In one of the only moments on this show that I was like, all right, good job. They all decide to break ranks with Hirsch and go try to save their teammate, which I was pretty shocked by because I honestly thought they would just be like, oh, okay, I guess she'll turn up if she turns up. What's next? Do we got a phone number to call? Or,
that would have been in line with like
frozen
how the
yogurt
rest
shop
of
to
the show's
check
going.
out that he liked.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Oh, you know what else we found out in this episode is that Axel can breathe underwater. Did you guys, notice how long he was underwater in this show?
Little longer than I thought possible. But when you parkour that much, you're long. You just
I was just about to say that. It's due to his awesome parkour skills. He's parkouring the extra oxygen into his lungs.
He is.
And
Got it all saved up.
I love too. It's like, okay, they get to Norway. We can't fly. We can't do anything because of the weather. And Hirsch calls, well, I talked to the government, and they're going to help you get as far as you can. And, we set up a computer for our hacker girl. And, she has like a crowd around her while she's doing it. I'm like, okay, that's great. And they going up against these Russian spies. And, they just kind of take them out, and all their plans are working. And, nobody gets hurt and nobody dies except for Black Widow when she's throwing a chair around fighting the one Russian guy. And in the worst moment because this episode is probably better than most of the other episodes, only because it was like this little self-contained story. They went to go save him, but the worst possible thing, total trope, the one Russian guy throws parkour guy, like off the oil rig, and then something's coming up and he's just standing on it being pulled up by it, and I'm just like, pause. I just can't. No more. I gotta pause this. I will come back after lunch, or I just gotta go do some sit-ups. I don't know. I cannot watch it for a few minutes. I was like, come on, why does this keep happening?
Because they were not creative enough to finish their idea.
Have them fall into the water. They're going up against these Russian spies, and the only one that's even remotely injured is Chris, who got beaten up while she was tied to a chair.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stakes in this. Right. There's absolutely no stakes to anything.
Keith, there were explosions that were kind of near them, and also a guy had a gun at one point, so those are almost stakes.
True. And this could almost cause World War III if you guys have one mistake. Does anyone think anything will come of that in episode 9?
Never.
Everyone's going to die anyway because the polar ice caps melted and we got hot, so who cares? Why are they even out there?
Which is why I said the same thing. Dave, I said the same thing when the one dude, he's beating up Chris and he's like, I should kill you myself. And it's like, why, man? They're all gonna die. All of you are all gonna die anyway. Like,
Right, it's useless.
just like give it a couple of days.
The only ones that won't die are all the people that have that, you know, unable.
Right,
to
yeah,
feel
but I
thing.
meant
They
the
didn't-
Russian spies that captured her.
No, right. They're.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and she's gonna be fine because she died too, unless she's taking Hopna since she was revived.
That would require them to actually explain that would be how it would work. So if suddenly, you die, does that clean your system of Hapna? Who knows?
Who knows?
Because that was the other thing. That's what I wanted to talk about was this whole revelation in the beginning of this episode about, they're finally there's I don't want to use repercussions because I think that might be too strong of a word. But they mention, and they find out Hirsch was actually, new Skinner, and it was on his team. And my first thought was, oh, they finally have a lead because she was on the team developing Hapna, so she must know a little bit about it, how it works, how it's made, and now this is going to be the opportunity for her to reveal, well, actually, this is what we know about. But no, instead, it was like what Dave mentioned a little bit ago. She cheered him on. She's a doctor, and she doesn't know jack shit about the project she was working on.
Yeah. We didn't understand the molecular compounds in it all.
You helped make it. How do you not understand it? Like, that's not how science works.
All right, and how does a scientist go from like she's a scientist in his lab, obviously in the background, not one of the four men, the forefront scientists, go from that to being a tactical team advisor, who's running her team, trying to find, this guy. Does she have experience that way? Does she have experience finding people? Does she have experience running a team of
Right?
ragtag,
Wouldn't it have made more
Vagabonds.
sense if she was like, instead of a doctor on his team, what if she had been the government liaison between him and, like, the FDA or something like that, and she was the one who was there to try and make sure that everything was going according to regulation? Or what if she was in charge of his security detail to make sure that nobody would get in the way?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many better ways that you could have introduced this connection to Skinner that clearly nobody thought of. Instead, they're just like, oh yeah, she was one of the scientists working on his team. Oh, but she doesn't actually know what she was doing. How?
She would have been, like you said, if she would have been like the security coordinator or something like that, that would have made a lot more sense to where she is now. It would have explained it all. But being just another scientist in that lab who probably didn't have very much of a voice, it doesn't add up, doesn't make sense.
No, a lot of it doesn't.
But
And the fact that they recruited her specifically out of everybody in that photo.
Yeah.
Did the rest of them die?
It'll be like the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial. The world may never know.
And
Hey, did you know
want
that
to-
one of us, I heard one of us is possessed by an owl?
Yeah? Will that ever come up again?
Do you want me to say it, Dave?
I do.
Who?
Sorry, dad joke.
But we do find out in a little bit of character building that Chris ended up, after she flatlined, she kind of faked her death, continued death, so she could escape. And the reason she did it is because she loved Inga, and she knew if she would have just escaped, they would have killed her because she was her handler. I was like, okay, it's not the greatest backstory ever, but it's something. They finally did something. And then, of course, for some reason, did you understand? I was like, her agent busts in, and he's like, you're a traitor. I'm going to kill you. Why did he kill Inga first? I mean, I could see that maybe he's like, okay, now she's a traitor too because she's helping the traitor. But he like shot her first, and I was like, that doesn't really make sense to me.
No.
Plot armor.
A lot of
She's
it
not a
didn't.
main character. She's going down.
Yep. And Chris was even
If she would
willing.
have jumped in front of her, even that would have been better.
Yeah.
You know, if you were
Yes.
shooting at her.
Boy, character development is what that would have been. That's, I think that's the other thing that kind of annoys me is ever since we stumbled upon that information about how Hopna is supposed to like affect the, human emotional state and everything like that. Every time I've been watching an episode since then, I'm going online searching to find out if there's any sort of supplementary material that we're supposed to know that the show failed to tell us. And the only thing that I could find online, and I don't know if this says anything about the people watching the show or just how uneventful the entire series has been so far, but a lot of people were praising this episode specifically, saying, oh, finally, it's back. Oh, we got some, real world building. Oh, it's full of action. Oh, it's amazing. And I'm just like, I don't know what you all were watching, but I didn't get that.
I will admit, it was one of the better episodes of this show. By no stretch of the imagination was it good or great.
The bar is low, so
Yeah, the bar
okay.
is definitely low. Saying it's better than the other ones isn't saying I'm putting it up on
Sure.
Mount Rushmore. It's not getting there. This is not
like saying-
Andor season 2, like episode 8.
That's like saying, this is a better show than Rebel Moon. Yeah, that's a lot of things are.
Sure is. Yeah.
I don't argue that. That is sounds right.
I
I
still
would go
don't
so
really
far
want to
to
watch
say-
either.
This is a better show than Russian Doll season 2.
I never finished it, so I couldn't give you a good answer.
I never watched.
See? It already is, because you're gonna finish this.
But
Only
we're
because-
making him.
Right. To be fair, we're only finishing this because we have to.
Hey, I got an idea. In the upcoming lull we have, let's do Russian Doll season 2.
Oh God.
I'm kidding. We're
Just for Doll.
Put it in the
Oh,
comments
man.
if you want us to watch Russian Doll season 2. And
Don't
comment.
ask them.
They
You
will
know they're
make
just
it-
mad
They
at
made
you.
us watch Spawn, okay? Our
Oh my
fans,
god, I still haven't
our
forgiven
fans
them
are
for that.
terrible.
I don't know
Our
who
fans
fans
have
don't
no
like it.
taste.
I don't know who's worse, the fellow nerds or you for dissing Wonder Man last stream. I still cannot figure out who's worse.
Keith, don't eat me cows is here.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope.
Wow. Look who it is. Man, it's been a long time.
Did he
It
leave a
has
comment?
been long.
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Hey, it's over on YouTube.
Don't eat me cows. We are good. We are fine. We're watching a show that we're not enjoying too much, but we're doing good. How are you? We've missed you, Don't Eat Me Cows. Every time you kind of disappear for a while, we're worried that a cow has eaten you. We're afraid that your worst nightmare has happened, and we fear. We pray. We do little vigils to make sure that everything's okay with you. So we're glad you're back. Oh, we do have a first-time chat on Twitch.
Oh,
Plexstar7. Best viewers on boostus.ru. Thank you. Well,
that's
we'll
not a
definitely.
B either. What the heck kind of letter is that? That's from some
Oh,
different
it is.
language.
Oh,
it's
weird.
like B
And
with a
so is
little
the
circle on top.
E, too. On viewers. Weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very
Okay,
much for
wow.
that. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, we like the best viewers, not the cheap ones, the best ones.
That's
the ones
right. These bots are listening to us when we say that. That's why they're changing their language.
Keep up with the best viewers. They're liking it.
We like it.
But Chris or Axel ends up pulling Chris out of the fire. They escape. They fall into the water. Like Dave said earlier, they're underwater for like 20 minutes. They end up being able to take some sort of propulsion unit that was falling to the bottom of the ocean, turn it around while still holding Chris, who's semi-conscious, and turning it on so it propels him up and out of the water. What this show does so well, realistic Oh wait, no, hold on. I missed. I wrote that.
Like, no matter how extraordinary the situation, they always make you believe it could happen. No, they don't.
You know, I really feel like at the very least there should have been some burns, or I don't know, like they should have been injured by the fire or the explosions, shrapnel, something. But yeah, like Keith pointed out before, the only person who had any kind of injuries was Chris, and that was just because she was beat up earlier when she was still tied to the chair.
I
So I,
remember in Cowboy Bebop, he was always bandaged up.
Yeah.
You know, he
mhm,
was always
yeah.
lying down on that couch in between missions. You know, that was realistic. These people are made of, they got mithril all over them or
Yes.
something.
Please tell me I'm a bad person for thinking this. But I wanted so bad when they were propelling themselves up out of the water that instead of flying up over the boat, when they hit the water surface, the boat just runs them over. That would have been interesting.
Oh
Yes. How
God.
are they going to come out of that one? No, they'll just pop up out of the water. It won't be a big
Are
deal.
you feeling terrible about killing two of your teammates? Not really. It must be
Oh.
the hat moon. I'm fine. We got 12 days to find Skinner, so we should probably. Did we get any? Did a hacker girl get any clues out of hacking the Russian computer that Axel turned on? Was she able to snag any info? Because obviously they were looking for Skinner because they were at the same area as our, I don't want to call them heroes of the story, the characters that have taken
The
the lead
main
in this.
characters, I
Yeah,
guess.
The cast.
because they were at the same spot. So I'm like, okay, they're investigating Skinner too. Did she get any information off of their computer, their network that she hacked into? I'm sure she didn't, but thankfully we saw them drive off with an explosion behind them, saving the day.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. They get in their boat and they float away. Is there oil and metal exploding? They don't care. They're just in their cool boat.
And then you get Doug, not this Doug, but of course Doug at the end has to narrate. Just in case you missed anything, he lets you know what you just saw.
Hmm.
We appreciate that, Doug. The other Doug, not this Doug. I'm still not
Oh,
talking
you
to
don't
him.
appreciate me?
I do appreciate you, but we just got to give major props to Doug on the show for talking us through what happened so we can get a better understanding.
Explain to me again, did I miss why Hacker Girl had a crowd around her?
I don't think they ever explained it because I was wondering
Oh,
too. I'm
good.
like,
Okay.
they kept showing it. It's like they're cheering when something goes good. Like, oh, I turned it on. I'm in. I'm in. They're like, yeah. I'm like, it's supposed to be a covert mission. Who are all these people crowding her? And I didn't understand it. I was like, this is.
They were the
Okay, I'm
sovereign.
glad I wasn't the only one then, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, why? Okay, she's got this whole huge group of people around her, and they're cheering and they're so excited. I assume they were cheering on, the main characters that got away, not really her hacking skills, but like, still
I did
weird.
love. They showed at one point she's got like typing on two keyboards, and all the screens are just populating information. I'm like,
I called it. Did I not call
you,
it?
you did call it. I was like,
Hacking.
they finally showed us her hacking skills.
The faster you type, the better you hack. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite example of this. Mini tangent time. My favorite example of what Hollywood thinks a hacker is comes from Live Free or Die Hard when they had what's his name who played Justin Long, who he was in the commercials. I'm a Mac, I'm a PC. So he's playing with Bruce Willis, and I think he's
Would you
like,
like to rephrase that?
oh, sorry. He is acting alongside Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is, obviously you're John McClane. He's got to go and save the entire country, apparently. So he's not just, crawling through a building. Now he's dodging helicopters that are being thrown at him and everything. But Justin Long is this hacker character that apparently helped bring about this end of the world plan. And so now only he can save the day. And you're never going to guess how he does it. He's got a little rollout keyboard, a little USB keyboard. And he's able to just plug this rollout, keyboard into any device. And then immediately, I'm in.
Oh dear God.
How does having a portable keyboard equal hack?
One day I just want to see a hacker in a TV show or a movie being like, it's going to take me about 13 hours to do it. And then they do like a time jump, and there's just like empty Coke and Mountain Dew cans everywhere, like
yes.
tie wrappers, and they're like, hold on, DoorDash is here with my McDonald's. Okay, I finally broke in. Well, did you get the information?
How did you do it?
I gotta find it. It's a huge network. You think it's just that the information I want just pops out at me once I get in there? Well, we were kind of hoping. Yeah, we kind of need it.
So
That's not
how'd you
how
do
this
it?
works.
Did you brute
think
force
this is
the
Green Arrow?
password? Did you get into their? Did you crack their network and did you brute force your way in? Did you figure out their? No, man. What? No, that's not. No, none of that is. Those aren't how you do this. No. What I did was I looked for any kind of security flaws. I used a little bit of social engineering. I was able to convince somebody that I worked for their IT department to give me their password. Thankfully, out of the 6 people that I asked, one of them was dumb enough to do so, and then I used that to break into their intranet. And what you guys don't know what that word means? I forgot that 2 episodes ago. Okay.
Their internal network. Why do you got to say so many words? Ah.
By the way, here is the internal. You can see the picture on my monitor. That's how networks work. they're this huge picture on your screen, and that's how you know you're in. I'd love to know why. Also, because like you see this in like all those NCIS and everything. Why do the people who make these TV shows and movies think that the UI layout is like so elaborate, crazy looking for governmental organizations when honestly they're probably using older versions of Windows than you or me?
Yeah, we found out what
Yeah,
all
there's still Windows
the air
XP.
traffic controllers are using.
Right?
They're on Windows XP.
God.
The best
No,
operating system.
When I was in the Army, they were upgrading to Windows 8.
Windows 8 is great.
Yep. They spent a lot of money on it too.
Dude, I was at RGIS back then, and we skipped Windows 8. We just went from Windows 7 to Windows 10.
I think most people did. Or at least tried to.
Yeah, I think,
But-
yeah.
But that was my tangent time.
What an...
Wasn't what's his name? Dennis Rodman. Wasn't he in a movie about hackers?
Dennis Rodman?
Angelina
You mean,
Jolie was. Hackers.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
When Ewan McGregor in that too?
Maybe.
Who?
Ewan McGregor.
Yes, he was. Yep.
Sorry, you had to say his name right.
Oh, you were thinking of you say Dennis Rodman though? That what you said?
Or was it Cisco? Who was it?
Or was it Chris Tucker?
That could be. I know it was a movie in the 90s.
Well, gentlemen, should we rate episodes 7 and 8?
Yep, we should. I'll go first. Well, one of the things I liked about this show, and it seems to be fading because I don't know if it's my connection or if they purposely did this, but sometimes the motion in the animation is really choppy. Do you guys get that, or is it just my connection? Because there's times when it's action and it's just like, I'm just like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that?
I don't think I noticed that.
I didn't
Okay,
either.
so it was. I was like, if so, that's a poor choice. But either way, I think the animation is getting worse as we go along. So that was one of the things that held it up for me. As you know, we've talked about, where is this plot even going? We don't even have enough information to make an accurate what's next. We could sit here and throw darts in the dark, and that's what we're doing right now. And I think some of our ideas are a lot better than whatever's coming. It's really sad. I really thought it was going to be good. They even cut out all the music that I liked, all the jazz that they had going on in the first few episodes.
I did notice that, yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just like all the good things that there were about the show are fading away as it goes. So I think it's just getting worse. After these 2 episodes, I'm going to give them both a 4. I mean, the second one was better than the first one. 8 was better than 7, but collectively it's a 4.
Yeah.
I get that.
Pretty much 7 was about every other episode we've gotten in this series. They do some things, it doesn't amount to anything, and they're back at square one. But we did get the greatest line ever from this series in episode 7 when Drone Boy just says, "All that for nothing." And it's like, that's what we've been saying after every episode. And it really has. It's stagnant. I dread watching. I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for the next couple episodes. I wonder what we're going to learn. Nothing like Death Note. Nothing like Cowboy Bebop. Nothing like the majority of the shows we watch. And I watched 7, and I was like, okay, same thing. In 8, at least was a little bit different. I was like, okay, they're changing up the format a little bit. It still had a lot of problems, but at least they did something different, in my opinion. So for that, I'm going to give these episodes a 4.5. I thought they were a little better. They're still below average in everything, but at least they did something a little different and made an episode that I was like, okay, I wasn't utterly bored for the entire thing, knowing this is amounting to nothing.
So I wasn't impressed with either of the storylines. Both were, I don't care less. I care about as much as the characters who are in the episodes. But I will say, you guys were right. You kind of called it in the first 2 episodes when we reviewed it. You said the animation will probably grow on you, and it has. To me, like I said, Dave, I didn't notice any sort of glitching or anything like that. No issues when I was watching it, and I thought it actually looked kind of nice. In fact, that's really the only takeaway that I have about episode 7 was that it looked pretty, and that's about it. They keep doing this thing where they'll bring up some sort of event or issue or object or whatever, only for it to go nowhere or for them to never reference it again. And it's almost as if this was being aired live and they're sort of testing the waters to see what works and what doesn't. And I hate to break it to you fellas, but that is not how an animated show is supposed to work. You're supposed to figure out the story beats and figure out what kind of story you want to tell prior to it airing, as part of the whole creative process. And instead, it's I wonder if they would be interested in the fact that Skinner bought islands by the end of the episode. No, they probably don't care. So we're not gonna ever bring that up again. I wonder if there should be any kind of fallout by the fact that, Hirsch used to be a scientist. No, nobody actually really cares. Great, cool.
Oh, and she doesn't have any pertinent information either.
Yeah. She also knows nothing. She worked for years alongside Skinner, knows nothing about him, knows nothing about Hapna, the drug that she helped create. So it's they keep doing this where they mention these things that should be important, should have some relevance on the plot, but it never does. And it's I don't understand what is happening here. I don't understand what happened between the conception and then the actual delivery of the product. The show that we're watching should be good. We know this director, we know this creator, and we know that he's capable of making good shows. And it almost seems like people are trying to dig in and figure out. They're trying to find the tiny bit of morsels. They're well, that part was kind of good. Well, that part was okay. And in fact, I'm even doing that. I'm sitting well, the animation looked okay. but that's not enough to save this whole show. So unfortunately, I'm with you, Keith. I got to give this a 4.5 out of 10. It's just, I mean, both the episodes had some decent animation. The art looked pretty nice. I liked the scenery in episode 7. I liked the actiony, explosiony stuff in episode 8, but it was so uneventful. Sorry, that's what it was very uneventful, and I, we all know that none of this is really going to amount to anything. So I don't know, what is it, 12 days left that we've got now?
Yep.
Yeah, so they got 12 days to figure this out before everybody starts dropping dead. I,
Can't wait.
I just, and the fact that we're brainstorming these like better ideas during our stream says a whole lot about this show. And it's like we're not coming up with anything elaborate. We're just saying things that are pretty common. Pretty common. Like they're not even. I don't know if trope is the right word, but it's what you would expect out of a show like this, and they can't even manage that. Like I wish that I could just watch the show and be like, oh yeah, of course, they're doing that old thing again. But at least it's like we would know that it's going somewhere.
Right.
But I don't know. It's been a slog to get through. And yeah, Dave, you're right. I kind of miss the music too. That would have made it even better. It might have put it up to a 5 for me if I would have at least had something to jam to. But
Yeah, it probably would have. Even the intro, I skip past the intro every time.
oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, now that they kind of gave up the whole intro monologue thing,
Yep.
they don't care about that anymore. They were just like after episode 4, they're like, and those are boring. There's way too much character development. We don't need that.
God, all the extra time it took us to write that part. Let's just skip it for the rest of the episode.
Right.
But I do want to say we do got a comment on YouTube from Mike Williams. Let's go Tigers. Yes, let's go Tigers. Best team in baseball right now. Cy Young award winner Tarek Skubal's on the mound. They're winning 4-1. All is good. But
It has been almost a year, and they have the best record in baseball since July 1st of last year, I think.
yep.
So, almost a full year.
Now, are you guys, like we've been doing at the end of all of these wonderful discussions over the greatest anime of 2025, we have some rumors and news.
Ooh.
And do you guys want the MCU news first, or do you want the DCU news first?
Keith, what I would like is for you to hit me with your best shot.
Fire
Fire
away.
away.
Come on, you don't fight fair.
That's okay. See if I care.
So let's
love you
put up
too.
your dukes and let's get down to it.
Let's go with the MCU first, Keith.
Okay, we got 2 items in our MCU. I think these are both rumors because neither one of these has been confirmed. But according to noted scooper Daniel RPK, Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a Hercules project with Brent Goldstein from Ted Lasso, who we saw at the post-credit scene of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's true. I don't know if they're developing something with Hercules, and maybe Hercules and Thor team up for Thor 5, which we know they're working on a new Thor movie for Phase 7 during the Mutant Saga.
Phase 7. Thor and Phase 7.
Did I say it like that?
No, I did.
Oh, good. I was like, I sometimes get worried. But yeah, I'm excited. They didn't say movie, series. They haven't really elaborated on anything with that.
Special feature, maybe?
Oh yeah, it could be a special feature too.
I mean, I couldn't be any less excited. I mean, who cares?
See, I'm excited. I like Hercules as a character in the comics. It's always good.
That's the key word, though. You like him in the comics. What was our introduction, Keith? Could you remind us? What was our introduction to him at the end of Thor: Love and Thunder?
His dad said, I don't even remember. His dad said, "Hey, here's Hercules" or something, and he kind of stood up.
His dad said, now, my son, go and find Thor and kill him or whatever. He's
Oh, yeah,
sending him
yeah.
on a vengeance mission because Thor stole Zeus's thunderbolt, because for whatever weird reason, Marvel decided, the original storyline that Taika Waititi had in here, where Zeus was actually going to act as a mentor figure to Thor, not funny enough. We don't. No, no. We want we need the Hammer to be jealous, and we need Zeus to be petty and cowardly, and also now he needs to send Hercules to avenge him or something. So, I would love for them to somehow fix this mess they've gotten us into, but I think it's probably more likely that if Hercules is introduced in the next Thor movie, they're probably going to fight it out. They may team up for something by the middle point and then have to work together in the end.
It'll
but
be
I
like
guarantee
a
it's gonna
Seth
start off
Rogen
with-
movie. They're friends at first, and then they're not friends, and then at the end they're friends again.
Sure, it could be something like that too. But yeah, I don't have like the high. I know that this sounds mean, but I just don't have the highest of hopes for it. I'm kind of indifferent. I would love for them to do something with it, but this introduction that we've gotten so far, I'm like, I don't care.
Let's just say you and Dave not caring about something sometimes is okay. Andor. So hopefully this goes the Andor route and not anything
Okay,
else.
all right, fair.
And Mike Williams says Wonder Women. I'm getting to that. We'll get that when we talk about the DCU stuff that we heard. Now the other big thing.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for this? This is going to shock you
Okay.
to your core.
Oh, to my core.
Probably not. But they have finally figured out the Blade dilemma.
So they have a script.
No. They're going to move forward with a Midnight Suns movie with Blade in it instead of having a solo film. Because what could be harder than having a movie about a guy killing vampires?
Yeah, it's tough.
So they're just giving up on his own movie. They're just gonna side character him in.
I don't think they're going to give up on his solo movie. I think they're going to try to wait till after a Midnight Suns movie to kind of have his own.
Is Wesley Snipes playing Blade in that one?
Nope. Marshala Ali.
Oh. Okay. So he settled for being a side character. Okay. Whatever happened? I thought it was his. He had some great idea for the show, for the movie, and that's why they were proceeding with it. Whatever happened with
Well,
that?
yeah, supposedly that was, if I remember right, him and a bunch of other people, because we had discussed this in one of our other streams. The way that Marvel has been doing things with these scripts is they keep most of it under lock and key, from my understanding. And so most of the time, they don't find out until they get to set what's actually going to be in the script, and that's in order to maintain secrecy, so Tom Holland doesn't go and blab it on like E! News or something.
Right.
So, if I understand it right, from what I remember reading, a bunch of people, Mahershala Ali included, saw this and said, "This sounds like a garbage movie. There's no way this is going to work." And I guess they were going to redo the entire script.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it stalled after that point.
You know what's funny? Do you know when they announced when Kevin Feige brought
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali on stage at San Diego Comic-Con?
2016.
2019.
Yeah.
6
sounds about right.
years.
6 years.
And they can't get a
Yeah.
Blade movie made. That is shocking to me. Like, it seems to me like a Vampire Hunter movie is one of the easiest ones to figure out and get done. And they can't get it done. It's kind of weird. Which,
They're
it's
trying
funny
to get
that...
Matt Smith on there. That's why.
Yeah,
They're trying to get Matt
stop.
They want Matt Smith. They already got Jared Leto signed.
The fact that they think they can do a Midnight Suns movie when they can't even get a Blade movie off the ground doesn't give me much hope. And of course, they're like, Ghost Rider is going to be in it, and Moon Knight, and
our favorite
Blade.
Iron Man.
And
Yeah, and that's the problem. They think, all right, we're gonna have these characters in it. That's gonna be enough.
now the one
It's
thing,
not.
the one thing that is hopeful for this is that they wanted Michael Giancarlo or whatever, the guy who did the special presentation for Werewolf at Night. And Man
okay.
Thing and Werewolf at Night were going to be part of this team also. So, I mean, hopefully they can get something done. I hate to be overly negative, but when it's been 6 years and it's like, okay, we're just going to have Blade be in a Midnight Suns movie now, I can't comprehend how it got to this. That seemed like you could have
Like,
Chat GPT.
At that point,
write a
it's
Blade
just like,
movie.
all right, give me the script.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what I was gonna say. Pete. It's like the Chat GPT is writing the script or something.
Even
It's
even
like-
that could get a script out that could be made into a movie for Blade. All you need is him killing vampires, pretty much, and you'd be like, all right, that was pretty good. But they can't.
Okay,
figure it out.
Chat GPT, I'd like to open the movie with a vampire sucking somebody's blood. Movie opens. Morbius's mouth is around the lips of it. No, stop!
No, they zoom into the office of Coach Ferratu.
Wait, I'm sorry. Coach Ferratu? That was the name he chose? Ugh, no wonder you guys keep getting caught.
What was his real name? Alistair Bastain. Was he doing a bit?
Blade needs to go to urgent care, and he sees Dr. Acula.
Oh,
Wait
God.
a minute. Put those words together. Hold on a minute. You're Dracula.
I am not. One, two, oh, sorry.
You can count on me.
I am the count.
Okay, that is the MCU's news and notes. Now we got some
Ooh.
DCU.
Okay.
So, first off, James Gunn says he's developing in some way a Superman sequel. They asked, is it a straight up sequel? And he said, I would not say necessarily. Which
Okay.
makes me think he's going to make some sort of world finest, because it won't be Justice League. I know a lot of people, as soon as you said that, they're like, they're doing a Justice League movie. I don't
He
think so.
won't do that already.
I think it's a world,
He's smarter than that.
world's finest. Batman, Superman team up. We're going to get Batman Brave and the Bold at some point, and they are going to have some team up, and that's where they're going to kind of figure out, hey, we should probably get more superheroes together and form some sort of league, and then they can go from there.
If they slow play that and put it together over a few eight movies or so, you know, six to eight movies, that'll be great.
Hey, as long as we get Will Smith in there to say, what are we, some kind of Justice League?
But he's a good guy. I don't care how many people he killed in Suicide Squad. He's a good guy because he's trying to do it all for his kid. That makes it okay.
That makes it okay.
That's right. He's got mouths to feed, darn it. But I thought that was really just the way he said, I would not say necessarily. So something, we're not getting Superman 2. It's going to be something else. And I think World's Finest is the best guess we got, which I think everyone wants to see a Superman-Batman movie team up since we've never gotten one.
You know what I really need to see? I need to see an origin movie for Batman, because one of the things that I've always wondered, you know, I didn't really read a lot of his comics growing up and everything, and I've always wondered how he became Batman. Like, what was the event that pushed him into becoming the Dark Knight? If only there was some way that I could find that out, some way I could see that on screen.
I think everybody wants to see that. I mean, the fact that it has never been filmed, exactly what happened that caused him, you know, what traumatic event caused him to do
it had to have been
this.
something.
Yeah.
You know? And they should put it in movies of other superheroes as well.
They really should.
Like,
Just
they
to
should
make it
put that
extra clear.
In the Flash movie, they should put it in there too.
They
You know?
should.
Yeah.
We should be writing for the DCU too, obviously.
God.
And speaking of writing, and speaking of other movies,
Oh?
James Gunn has confirmed that a Wonder Woman movie is in development. The writing has begun.
Oh, okay. So it's only in development, so they haven't done any casting yet.
Yep, no casting.
But
The
we
super-
could have a fun talk about casting if you like.
Oh, do you know
Just
something?
who would you think would be? No, I don't know anything.
Oh,
I just seen a few people that were suggested, and what do you think about them? Such as Bix from Andor.
She would be
I did see that.
fantastic.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Anna de Armas, I've seen people suggest. I'm
That's
not
to
as
me,
sold
she's
on
too
her.
short. But then again, Gal Gadot, well, she's not. Is she short? No, she's not.
No, I
is
don't think she is.
Obviously, you can't go with Gal Gadot again.
Probably wouldn't.
There
No.
was the um the leader of the Sovereign. What was her name?
Oh, Elizabeth Debicki.
Rebecca. Yes, she was on the short list that I saw, and it makes sense because of James Gunn because
Yeah.
he likes her. He put her in his movie, so maybe.
I like it. I would be down with
Any
that.
other ideas?
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm terrible at fan casting.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know. As long as they're able to portray the character well, I think the key thing that I would look for in a Wonder Woman actress is she's got to be confident. She's got to she has to have a little bit of muscle and tone, right? Because she's Wonder Woman. She's supposed to be strong. She's got to be she's got to look like she could potentially take Superman, or at least put up a good fight against him. That's what I
Bella
expect out of
Ramsey.
whoever they choose.
Or Gina Carano, or
I-
Ronda Rousey.
If Gina Carano hadn't tanked her career, I would have said sure, because she kind of fits the bill of the type of person that I could see being Wonder Woman.
What about Ronda Rousey?
I don't think she has the acting chops. I wouldn't want her.
Yeah, I
Nothing
don't know.
against Ronda
I'm
Rousey.
not
I mean,
sure.
she was a fine MMA fighter.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. All right. You guys
But
ready?
actually, you're not. That's not a bad idea to look for maybe somebody that's in WWE, because a lot of them have gone on to become pretty decent actors. I mean, look at well, I was about to say The Rock, but no, not really. Look at John Cena.
Dave
He's
Bautista.
actually done pretty darn good for himself. We wouldn't
Dave
have
Bautista.
Peacemaker without him. So yeah,
Dave Bautista,
maybe that's
yeah.
the direction they need to go.
That's a good example, Dave. That one too.
Who?
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, he's become a really good actor. Yeah.
And someone was going to be in Captain America: Brave New World on the Serpent Society. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but they said he did great on set. But obviously, it did not make the final movie.
I tell you what, those of you that are watching us, put in the comments, what is your fan cast for Wonder Woman? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Who do you think would be a good fit? Whether it's just because they happen to look like the character, or do you think with, enough makeup, hairdo, whatever, they could still fit the role? Keep in mind that, again, that's a big part of casting somebody. They don't necessarily at first always look like who they're going to portray, but they would be a good fit. So who do you think? Who would you want to see as Wonder Woman? Put it in the comments. Let us know.
I'm trying to think of other MMA fighters that would probably fit that mold. Or maybe a basketball, maybe like Caitlin Clark. Who she can't act.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
no,
say
she can't
let's
act.
let's not do Caitlin Clark.
Right.
She is a fantastic basketball player. Maybe Angel Reese, since she's not as good. Oh no, that's not.
Oh
good.
dear God, no! She can't even hit a two-foot layup.
Well, since
I
she
don't trust her
can't,
to act.
since she can't play basketball, maybe she can act. No. Okay. Well, we have one more piece of news. Get your fan cast in the chat, fellow nerds. We want to hear who you want. But this little last bit, I was very excited about.
Okay.
An animated Mr. Miracle series has been greenlit at Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios. For those of you who are not familiar with Mr. Miracle, he is the greatest escape artist in the universe. He can break free from any trap or prison, and he was raised on Apocalypse.
Is his name Axel? Actually,
His name is Scott Free, not Axel.
Odd.
Scott
Of course
Free.
it is.
Oh, of course
God.
it is.
So corny. Okay.
And later, he left. He was Darkseid is his adopted father, and he later escaped the New Genesis and married Big
Darkseid?
Barda. What?
Darkseid.
Did you say Dark Seed?
Darkseid. Did I say Darkseid?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you
he
said-
said
Did
I
I
was
really?
like,
were
is
both
that how
like-
you say it?
Darkseid. Is he Gardner? What?
It's a new villain in the DC universe. He's a gardener, and he plants bad plants.
Honestly,
hangs
I
out
thought
with
it was
Poison
like
Ivy.
a Ra's al Ghul thing, like how I've been saying it wrong all along. I'm like, what? It's not Ra's al Ghul. What?
Yeah, it's Ra's
Right,
al
right.
Ghul.
That's what some say.
Right?
Darkseid, but he marries one of the new gods, Big Barda. And the best part of all of this is Tom King is writing it. And Tom King does a great job, and he really is. His run on Mr. Miracle was great. So I'm happy to hear this. I'm glad they're doing, once again, not every known character in the DC universe, the major ones. They're doing other ones too. So, the
Good.
whole digging
Yes,
into
Gene.
Apocalypse and New Genesis could definitely lead towards Darkseid being a big bad somewhere down the line and things. Introduce him, learn some things about him before he's the big bad of the entire thing. So, I'm happy to hear it.
It's a very James Gunn thing to do, to take the lesser known characters and bring them to the forefront, and to do it in a way that we like them and they're memorable.
And
So I
also
hope-
like the truly comic booky characters, like the really outlandish out there stuff. Like, I think even Zack Snyder and all of this like edgy darkness, I think even he would have struggled trying to do more with Darkseid than what he did in his Justice League. Like if he was to actually try and materialize Apocalypse or New Genesis or any of the new gods or anything like that, I don't think he would have been able to pull it off. Apocalypse, maybe. He's edgy enough to do that, where it might look like, I don't know, the rave from Matrix 2. But that's about I think all he could manage. But like the more cartoony aspects of it, like, the bugs that live on the ground part of New Genesis, the gods being all pompous and, sniffing their own farts and everything. Only James Gunn could really pull that off.
Agreed. Maybe we'll have to do a back issue breakdown on Tom King's run. I think it was 12 issues. It's newer. I mean, he was introduced in 1971. He was
Oh, wow.
Jack Kirby did his original run. It was like 19. Don't quote me on the exact date, but it was around 1971. And then actually Grant Morrison.
Quote now.
The what?
I'm typing up a quote right
Oh.
now. I am quoting you on that.
Excellent. But I mean, Tom King's run was great. Grant Morrison's run was great. He was in Justice League International, which is funny because Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl and a bunch of the characters that'll be in Superman were kind of part of Justice League International too back in the late '80s.
Does he have a big idea for all these characters? James Gunn, that is. Is he going to weave all these characters in together?
I think he will. I think he's got something in mind. They've said many times that they've plotted this out way in advance, but they don't even though he said they're not announcing anything till they have a script. They've already announced
Good.
Teen Titans. That script isn't finished yet. They announced Wonder Woman that they're working on it. Script isn't finished yet. So I do.
Now,
I mean,
do you think that's against his will? Like he didn't want to announce it, but Warner is like, hey, man, we've got to keep people interested. You've got to announce this stuff.
I think they probably leaned on him a little bit to say, hey, let's, we can talk about what's in development a little bit, especially something like Wonder Woman, because they're obviously going to get a Wonder Woman movie done at some point, or at least have her in another movie. So I think that's
They have to.
an easy one to talk about.
You cannot make Wonder Woman 84 the last appearance of Wonder Woman in any sort of like DC property. They've got to do it again because They've got a lot of making up to do.
Yes, they do.
Or that travesty. Which, how much time do we have left? If you want, I can talk about the rest of.
Oh, look, it's getting late. Holy cow.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Hey, we gotta find out who we gotta raid. What's going on?
But we promise Doug will be on Sunday night to talk about he will go on a 17-hour diatribe of what is wrong with Wonder Woman 1984, and all proceeds will go to the favorite dad's
It starts at 7 a.m. on Sunday. Tune in to see Doug.
Oh, God.
He'll be done by midnight.
Jeez. Oh.
Let's see if we can find somebody to raid.
Can anybody
PG is still on.
find me somebody to raid?
Oh.
Slayas is on.
No, she's not. Really? I don't see her.
It says she is. She must have just came on. TG is on.
Yeah, she's
Tommy
on.
Valkyr.
Yeah, I think she did just come on because she only has 128 people right now.
Oh yeah, she has the stream starting soon picture up.
Okay.
Well, should we do TG, our good friend?
I don't
Always
see
good.
why not. Sure, he's probably only going to be on for a little while longer, but why not?
It's always good to send it to TG.
That's right. And for those of you that do not know what we're getting ready to do, rating is where we take all of you lovely nerds that are watching us on Twitch and we carry you over very gently. We pat you on the head, we leave you with a snack, and we let you go play with our friends, our fellow streamers on Twitch. In this case, Terrible Gaming. Wonderful guy, great friend of us. We don't have anything like that we can quite do on YouTube. There's kind of a thing. It's clunky. We don't worry about it. But if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. Like us. Subscribe to us if you haven't already. Share with our friends. Share with your friends. And hey,
Share
you
with
know
our
what?
friends. It doesn't matter.
Share with
Remember
everybody.
what we said? Give us your fan casting in the comments down below. And we'll see you right here on Not Your Status Quo. Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.